Russia, the best school trip you'll ever go on. Traveling to Russia with your school friends will be one of those life events you will never forget. A new culture, an exciting destination, a diverse history, friendly people. Russia is a country you have to see with your own eyes. Visiting Russia is a valuable educational and fun experience, whether your studies relate to Russia or not. Just by walking on Red Square in Moscow, you'll feel a sense and an understanding of history that school books and classrooms cannot evoke. Our most popular trip to Russia lasts 6 days. You will fly to Moscow, the powerhouse and heartbeat of Russia, a vibrant, energetic city. Visit such breathtaking sights as Red Square, St. Basil's Cathedral, and the Kremlin, before jumping on a train for an overnight journey across Russian countryside to the beautiful city of St. Petersburg. A city with a much more Western European feel to it, providing an interesting contrast with Moscow. See the River Neva and the Church of the Spilt Blood, and tour the famous Hermitage Museum. We can arrange fun evenings at the Moscow Circus, a traditional Russian folklore show in a palace in St. Petersburg, and a visit to see a world-renowned Russian ballet. Our guides love their cities and can't wait to show you around. They are highly experienced in working with student groups just like yours, so you know you are in safe hands. Russia is not a place you would visit ordinarily, so don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity to travel there on a school trip of a lifetime, just like Withington Girls' School from Manchester did. Russia has an extreme continental climate. Temperatures in Moscow and St. Petersburg can rise as high as 32 degrees Celsius in the summer and drop to -25 and even lower in the winter. Russia's population is approximately 145 million, so 3 times the size of the UK. Nearly 80% of these people are concentrated in Western Russia. Moscow, for example, the largest city in Europe now, has a population of 11 million, and St. Petersburg around 5 million. Russia is the largest country in the world, covering an astonishing 17.1 million square kilometers. It extends nearly halfway around the Northern Hemisphere and covers much of Eastern and Northeastern Europe, as well as the whole of Northern Asia. Moscow and St. Petersburg are 3 hours ahead of London time. Surprisingly, it only takes 3.5 hours to fly from the UK to Moscow. On day 1 of your tour, arrive in Moscow, where your local Russian City Breaks representative will meet you and accompany you by coach to your hotel for check-in. After dinner, enjoy an introduction to the heart and soul of Moscow as you take a stroll around Red Square at night. Feel the unique atmosphere, surrounded by the imposing Kremlin walls, beautiful St. Basil's Cathedral, and the famous department store GUM. On your second day, start with a comprehensive guided sightseeing tour of Moscow by coach, past the world-famous Bolshoi Theatre and the spectacular Cathedral of Christ the Saviour. Enjoy fabulous views of Moscow from the university on Sparrow Hills, and stop to admire the shining domes of New Maiden's Convent. After lunch, there'll be an opportunity to visit a local Russian school on a cultural exchange and meet your fellow students. Start your 3rd day in Moscow with a visit to Lenin's mausoleum on Red Square, his final resting place, and whose body has been on display here since 1924. Continue on to the awe-inspiring Kremlin for a guided tour. Walk past the sparkling golden domes, the mighty walls, and the imposing towers of this powerful fortress. Head to Old Arbat Street for lunch, one of Moscow's most popular meeting and shopping spots. Here you will find cafes, art galleries, antique stores, souvenir stalls, and portrait painters. Tonight, why not experience the circus, one of the Russians' favourite forms of entertainment? Later on, transfer to the train station for your overnight journey north to St. Petersburg. Fall asleep in Moscow, travel through Russian countryside, and wake up in St. Petersburg. You will be met at the train station in the morning by your expert local St. Petersburg guide. After breakfast, take a comprehensive sightseeing tour of this beautiful former capital city. Amongst many striking sights, see the Church of the Spilt Blood, St. Isaac's Cathedral, and the Bronze Horseman. Cross the River Neva to tour historic Peter and Paul Fortress, burial place of the Romanovs, and see why Peter the Great selected this location as ideal for the foundation of St. Petersburg in 1703. This evening you will have the option of enjoying a traditional Russian folklore show in the luxurious surroundings of Nikolaevsky Palace. On day 5, visit the Hermitage, one of the world's finest art museums, housed in the opulent Baroque Winter Palace. Your guide will introduce you to the most important works of art, since you would actually need several years to see everything. This afternoon, visit the beautiful interiors of the Yusupov Palace, the residence of the respected Yusupov family and the scene of Rasputin's murder. Tonight there will be an opportunity to visit the world-renowned Russian ballet at the Mariinsky Theatre. On the last day, after checkout, travel south to the small town of Tsarskoye Selo, formerly known as Pushkin after the famous poet who once studied here. Tour Catherine's Palace, see the splendid and only recently fully restored Amber Room, and stroll through the beautiful gardens. Then, following some lunch, transfer to the airport for your return flight home. Why did you come to Russia?
To get a Russian hat. Yeah, experience, definitely. And fun! Yeah! Just the fact that it sounded like a seriously cool trip. Yeah.
What are you doing tonight?
We're going night train!
8 hour overnight train to St. Petersburg.
Yeah. Not sleeping. Oh yeah, not sleeping. There's 4 people to space and all that.
Have you been on a night train before?
No. New experience totally.
Scary.
The night train was an experience. If you like small and intimate, it is for you. It is comfortable, a miracle of architectural design and ergonomics. We managed to fit 4 big cases and 4 medium-sized staff into a little room. The rocking motion lulls you to sleep and you have a really wonderful experience going to sleep in Moscow and waking up in St. Petersburg. And it's been superb. Hotels have been great. We've been on some brilliant excursions and the girls have really loved every minute. The guides and the staff of the Russian City Breaks have been awesome.
It's definitely a sort of once-in-a-lifetime experience in a way, because it's not somewhere when you book your family holiday you necessarily think of coming. So I thought, well, it'll be really interesting, and there's loads of like history and palaces and all the we've done some of the Russian history like from the 1900 to 2000, and it's really interesting. And it's such a different culture because they've had the communism and how they've like overthrown that and come back into the modern world. And it's interesting seeing how in a way Moscow is still very Russian, but St. Petersburg has become so much more westernised because it's closer to Europe.
And definitely how it's changing so much. I'm really, really glad I came.
Yeah, really glad. Our guide in St. Petersburg has taught us how to sing some really funny Russian songs, and we've done dancing on the pavement, and we've taken lots of pictures around all the museums, and it's been really fun.
I would definitely recommend any history teacher to take their children to, or their students to, Russia. I think it's a unique country. If you study the history of it, it brings it alive. I'm an experienced teacher. I've run trips for many years, for over 20 years. I wouldn't hesitate in recommending Russian City Breaks because I think you get quality, I think you get personal attention, personal detail. I think that's really important in a school trip.
I suppose as a teacher, the safety of your kids is really paramount, and I think we've all felt that we've been secure in what can be a challenging country to travel in. We've felt safe, welcomed, and that every step of the way we've been taken care of.